Right. Hello, hello. Welcome to Birthing the Gifts. I am clinical psychologist Dr. Khiela Holmes. And here at Birthing the Gifts, we provide a safe and compassionate space to grow your God given gifts. In this interview series, we discuss the process of giving birth to your gifts. So today we're doing part two. I have with me my cousin here, Chrissy. Chrissy, thank you for joining us again. Yes, joining this platform. So last time we had a real good discussion. So you guys, if you haven't seen it, please go back to YouTube and all the other platforms and find Chrissy's part one, where we were talking about LGBTQ acceptance and belongingness, family acceptance, and all of that. And we're doing this recording in Pride Month. So happy Pride to everybody out there. This is Pride Month.
Yay!
So this is a time, people may have different reactions to Pride Month, but on this Birthing the Gifts platform, the way we're going to talk about it is what Chrissy highlighted last time, is really we want to be love-centered. That's really what it's about, is how to be person-centered, human-centered, and love-centered, that how can we just love people? That's the conversation. And last time, Chrissy, you talked a lot about we were talking about children and the youth. We spent a lot of time talking about that. You shared your personal experience. And we just talked about the importance of, especially as it relates to people's mental health and emotional wellness, just really feeling loved, right? Feeling
Yeah.
seen, feeling heard, feeling like I matter. We all
Yes.
as humans want to feel like we matter and we belong. So that's the way we're gonna keep that same energy if we can do that. We're gonna keep that same loving energy going today. And so Chrissy has some more that to share about her journey. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, other parts of her journey. And the part that we had prepared for is kind of talking about working with children. Because you've really been doing it for a while. I know you've been doing different things as well, but you really, a lot of what you've done in your career and in your education has been to really work with children, and particularly
Yes.
children. And we've talked a lot about children in particular who have some type of special needs. Maybe it's learning, maybe it's stuff related to speech, maybe it's physical needs, but they need some additional support. So if you could tell us a little bit, what makes the topic of working with children, and particularly children with special needs, what makes that important to you?
I feel like this kids with special needs, they really they you know, we need more advocates for people with special needs. I mean, me and myself as a little child, I had and still till now, I have a speech impediment. And growing up in Dallas, I was going to speech therapy at school, but I stopped doing that because, being a kid, I'd rather be outside playing instead of going to speech and stuff. So I really didn't take it seriously. But now I'm an adult. I was like, wow, okay, I should have took that serious. Like I should have continued having going to speech therapy so it can help me with my talking and um dealing helping me with school and stuff, especially English, because writing is not my good subject, but I love writing sometimes, but it depends on the topic. But it really would help me out if I continue going to speech therapy. But right now I love working with kids because with special needs because I mean being in their shoes, it's hard. I mean, it's hard because it's like I'm working with kids with middle school, and some of these kids, some kids can be bullying my kids, and and just make fun of them because they are different. And my thing is, we're all different. We're all different regardless, but it's but I love working with special needs kids because they are really true. I love it. I love working with them because they are so smart in their
Mhm.
own way, and
Mhm.
they are real. I mean, when I was looking at these memes and they said special needs have superpower, yes, they do. They do have
Mhm.
um
What?
superpower because I mean I can talk about my students a lot, but I'm not. So let's get back to the subject.
Okay.
But it is important to know about kids with special needs because you need to, especially with parents who have them, it's like you got to find a way to see where they need help on, and be patient, because yes, it is stressful because you got to deal with their with them and stuff, mentally and physically and emotionally. So it is stressful, but it's 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 fulfilling.
Wow.
It's fulfilling. It
It's
is. I mean,
fulfilling. I
yes.
like that you said that because Chrissy, you just said several things, and I want to go back and highlight what you said. So I don't know if people are watching, if they notice this, but as you start talking about them, like I saw your face light up.
Yeah.
I saw your
I
face
love
light up.
working. I love working with them because I mean I have so much fun with them. It's it's like it is, like I said, it is. You got to be real patient. You got to be real patient. If you don't have patience working with special needs kids, they ain't your work plan. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just to you, it's like it's I mean it is you just have to be patient, and you have to like just just love the kids too. You just have to
Mm-hmm.
love the kids. I mean, yes,
Right.
it is hard work because
Mm-hmm.
they do learn different, and it's
Mm-hmm.
okay. It's okay for people to learn different because we, like I said, we all different, and we all learn different. And like
Mm-hmm.
mine is doing online work. I can't do it, but I got to if I want to continue getting my master. But
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather be, in a classroom. But like I said, it's just stuff that, we gotta work on, work hard and stuff. And like with special needs, you gotta be patient with these kids because yes, they are different. Yes, their mind is different, but at the end of the day, they will understand it quickly.
Mm-hmm.
If you continue to learn, teaching them, and just being patient and cheering for them if they get it right, like
Mm-hmm.
they would know that they were learning. You wouldn't know. You can tell they were learning and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, I like how you talking about it, Chrissy. And if I can point out, like for birthing the gifts, one of the things I was having a conversation with somebody, I think a few months ago, and what she talked about is literally her question is like, what lights you up? And like when she says when
Mhm.
she's working with people, she tries to see those glimmers of light. And when she
Yeah.
sees that, that means that's something that you really like, or that's
Yeah.
something that you're passionate about or gifted to do when you see
Mhm.
people light up or you can see that glimmer of light when they're talking about it. So I
Yeah.
think I just want to make sure people see that and hear that to kind of know like that's when you can tell it's something that's part of your gift. That's like this person
Mhm.
was created to do this. Like this is part of
Yeah.
why they're here because they're like lighting up. And at the same time, what I like about what you're doing and what you're saying is that you see both sides of it. You see, okay, yes, this can be stressful. It can probably even be frustrating,
Mhm.
because it does take a lot of effort and energy to
Mhm.
work with children, period, but certainly
Yeah.
children that have special needs. And that means when they say
Mhm.
special needs, that means they have certain things that you have to pay
Mhm.
attention. You have
Yeah.
to understand and pay attention to, like, really ask yourself, what is their need? What is going on
Mhm.
right now, and what can I do? So I'm hearing you say it's stressful and frustrating, and at the same time, with patience, with love, and really
Mhm.
trying to understand their needs, you
Yes.
can really start to see some progress with them. And
Mhm.
even it can be fulfilling for you, which is,
Yes.
I think that's great. That's great to hear as a person with birth and the gifts, but more so it's great to hear as your cousin that you are like it's stuff that you're doing that you find fulfilling. Because not
Yeah.
everybody's able to find that. Not everybody's
Mhm.
able to find the thing that's fulfilling for them. And
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
that is awesome. That is awesome. If we could kind of connect it, because I wonder if Chrissy, you talked about patience, you talked about cheering people on when
Mhm.
they've gotten something right. And
Mm-hmm.
certainly you talked about bullying and advocating. You started out with that they need more advocates, people that
Yes.
speak up for them. So I
Yes.
wonder if we were to connect that when you were younger, because you talked about your experience with getting speech services when younger and what you needed. Were those some of the things that you felt maybe you needed when you were younger? It sounds like the services for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you feel like you needed? Was it the patience? Was it the people cheering you on? Was that what you feel like you would have needed?
Yeah, it was yeah, I should have it was more patient and more and I think I should would have need more tutoring and stuff
Uh,
too.
mhm,
Because like I say, it's like English and reading and writing is not my good subject. I mean, I can talk about it face to face, but like writing it, like, it's
mm,
like I would still need somebody to help me reword stuff or make sure that the grammar and the punctuation, all this stuff is right and stuff. So yeah.
So somebody to give you that was the need that you had, somebody to be able to sit down with you, be patient with you,
Mhm.
and like show you, like, okay, let me give you some more guidance and how to do
Yeah.
this.
And
Okay.
more hands-on stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, more hands-on stuff. Okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So you felt like that's what you would have needed. Do you feel like your experience when you were a child, do you feel like it's something about that kind of made you kind of passionate and really wanting to work with kids that had different kinds of needs or learn differently?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
because I mean, all my life, people say, "Oh, Chrissy can't do this, Chrissy can't do that," but you know what? I proved them wrong. It's like I work, working at a grocery store, working at DHS. You know, be on the phone, how to talk to people, and people, I'm not gonna say, but people be saying, "Oh, we can't, you can't do that because how you be talking or how you is." But I proved them wrong.
okay.
So I mean, it's like you can't, it's like it's outweigh the negative and the positive. So I rather outweigh the positive and leave the negative alone. So.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the reason why I like working with special needs because I was in their shoes, and like I said, growing up, it was hard for me to talk and people understand what I'm saying and stuff too. So yeah,
So you know what that feels like.
yes,
You know what that's like to have those where people are kind of underestimating you, feeling like telling you you can't do something, and then
hmm
what it's like to not have people to not be able to understand you. Yeah,
yeah,
and yeah, okay, so that created a passion in you. I like
mm-hmm.
what you said. I'm going to jump down to another question that I think I had further down, but you already kind of
Okay,
started talking about it. So I'm like, okay, let's go there, because you said
okay,
that there were positives and negatives. There were
hmm
positive and negatives in your experience, but you said you tried to focus on the positive. That was
hmm
because my question for you was like, with the negatives, with the things that were negative, I like wonder, how did you overcome that? How did you say, because some people, right, like who have differences in whatever way, people might underestimate them, be negative with them, and then they
hmm
start to be negative with themselves. So if somebody
yeah,
say you can't do that because that's Y and Z, then they may say, well, yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe I can't. And then they start to think negative about themselves and think that
hmm
that they can't do certain things. So
hmm
how did you focus on I wonder, how did you overcome the negative parts?
Um, working, being at work, like I say, working at Food Giant. I was working at Food Giant. I talked to more customers and stuff. I've been, more socialized and stuff. And working at DHS is like is basically communication, because it's just me and working at the school I'm at now. It's like I'm up there teaching the kids, so it's helping me more. So it's helping me more. So yeah, that's basically
Yeah. So it sounds like just doing it. It sounds like you just
yeah,
had to
just
do
doing
that.
it.
Just put
Yeah.
yourself out there and doing it. And it almost sounds
Mm-hmm.
like they gave you practice. Would you say they gave you
Yes.
practice at talking to
Mm-hmm.
people? like say
Yeah.
socializing, and you just would you
Mhm.
say, can you tell like the more you said food giant, DHS, and now at the school, would you say that getting that practice and going through those jobs, have you felt yourself kind of feel like being able to feel more comfortable or confident in communicating and talking and stuff like that?
It depends.
Okay,
It
it
depends.
depends. Yeah, that's
It
real. It
depends.
depends. It depends.
Yeah, it depends because I don't want to overstep my lead teacher, so it
Yes.
just depends.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it depends on the situation. So it seems like it's
Yeah.
sometimes where yeah, you feel more confident and get out there and do it, and sometimes you gotta just kind of move a little differently. You gotta
Yeah.
move different. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. But I'm glad that you said that though, but so people will know that sometimes when it comes to birthing your gifts, you just kind of have to get out there, and I know it's a cliche to say to do it afraid, but like sometimes that really may be it. Like sometimes, well, a lot of times, not even sometimes, really a lot of times, we're not gonna feel all the way 100% confident before we step
Hmm.
out there. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of how can we step out there anyway.
Mm.
Like what do we need? Like is it deep breaths? Is it encouraging yourself, giving yourself a pep talk? Surrounding yourself with loving, supportive people that'll help
Yeah.
you to kind of get out there even when you
Mm.
don't feel like, I'm all the way prepared for this. So that's what I'm
Mm.
hearing you say, that you kind of got out there and started
Yeah.
doing some stuff and giving yourself some practice in it, even
Yeah.
when, maybe you didn't feel 100% confident in the beginning.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Good for you. I mean, those are important lessons. Those are important lessons for people to know about. Now I'm going to kind of switch back because we kind of talk about kind
Okay.
of how you kind of overcame and what you did to kind of get out there. But now I kind of want to go back to, again, this is again part of you birthing your gifts was to even realize that I'm passionate about working with children, and particularly children with special needs. When do
Mhm.
you first remember? I don't even know if you remember how old you were. Do you kind of remember when you first had the thought that I think I want to work with kids or in education or special needs? When did that start?
Uh, I guess when my son was working at a daycare.
Ah,
And so it's like, when he started going to daycare, I'd rather be at the daycare, to make sure everything, make sure my son is okay. So, um, Miss Karen Buchanan, when she opened up that daycare on Colonel Glenn, I forgot the name of it, but that was a long time ago. She let me, work there with the after school kids. So, it was it was a journey, to working
mhm,
with other kids, and it
mhm,
was fun. And so working there, it's like, okay, I think I got this. I think I want to, continue working with kids. So I was like, okay, okay.
mhm,
So, that was my journey to, I guess, it was a green light saying, okay, this is what you need to be doing, Chrissy. You need to be working with kids because who else gonna be working with kids that with special needs or not special needs,
mhm.
so it was just
Yeah.
a journey, yeah.
Yeah, I love that you said your green light. So some people have to make sure that I love that. It's like there was a green light moment. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's like we have to stay in expectation of our green light moments, right?
Hmm.
And it's like it seems like when you first did that, that wasn't necessarily what you were going after. It sounded like what you were going after is okay, I need to see my baby go be all right.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
your first. I know this, but the audience that know that was your first child. That was
Yeah,
your
he
first
was
child.
my first child. Yeah, going to
Uh-huh.
daycare. So it's like, okay, yeah.
So
It's
you said, okay, I
like,
got to see what's going on. So sometimes we end
uh-huh.
up getting closer to our green light moment, not
Hmm.
even really intending to, because it seems like that's not really why you were going, but then you realized you had a realization. Oh,
Hmm.
okay, I can do this. So that green light moment kind of came. So I like that. I like that those words that you use because it's like we all have to be mindful of our green light moments and be in
Yeah.
expectation of it and notice it, pay attention
Hmm.
to it. And it sounds like when you notice that green light moment, you you move forward with that.
Yes.
Yeah, because you kind of kept going because that was what about, oh, I can't believe your
That was
oldest is 20, 21.
20, well, yeah, he be 21 December. So that was, yeah,
Okay, okay. So
19
that's
plus
about
years.
20 some years ago. And
Yeah.
you are still kind of on that. So you're right. It's a
Hmm.
journey. And so wow. So sometimes the green light moment could be at one point, but it's just like
Hmm.
now, like let's just keep going with it. And that's what you did.
Yeah.
That's
Mm.
awesome. I did not know that. So that was your green light moment. I love it. I love it. And you kind of talked already some about this, is like how it makes you feel to kind of work with, but you use the word fulfilled. You use the word fulfilled. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What would you say is something that's really fulfilling about it? When you were like, if you kind of were to think back to a time that you said, man, this was really fulfilling. What was fulfilling about it?
Um, well, right now, working at my job, like I said, I teach the kids, their lesson and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they be joking, making wrong, and saying the wrong answer, but they know the right answer. So it's like once they say it right, once they say the right answer, I was like, yes, you got to continue cheering and praise them on. So
Mm-hmm.
they know they in the right direction of, okay, I got this. And,
Mm-hmm.
because I do have a student, he's gonna be in the eighth grade, and I've been knowing him since he was in the sixth grade. And he he's a tall little boy. He's a tall student, and he had back surgery. And so after that back surgery, he always be afraid walking because he'll be afraid to because he'll be afraid that other kids will push him, when he's in the hallway going to his other class and stuff. So his mindset his mindset be saying, okay, I'm afraid I'm gonna get pushed, but when I'm with him, you're not gonna be pushed. I got
Mm-hmm.
you. I'll either hold his hand, I'll hold his hand. But last year he had a walker, so that definitely would help him out. And now he's saying on his mind, he said, I got this. I said, yes, you
Oh,
do got this, because I keep on telling him, you got this. And he said, I got
mhm.
this. So yeah, oh
Oh,
my
I love
goodness.
it.
Okay, I'm not gonna cry, but yes,
No,
it is
yes.
okay,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is
You can
it,
tell
that
it's
that's a
important to you.
fulfilling,
Mm-hmm.
it's a fulfilling, hearing him.
Mm-hmm.
Whew, yeah, hearing him saying, I got this, because he know he got this. And
Mm-hmm.
he been, I mean, like, in sixth grade, he was like that shy type that he won't answer the questions, he won't read, but now it's like seventh thing, like I say, he's going to the eighth grade. He reading and answering the
Wow.
questions and coming up to the board and writing, is just so, I just so, it's just so intrigued to me. I get so
Mm-hmm.
excited seeing this, how much he grown and how much motivation, good motivation he has and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah, no, like that's important. That's when you know when it
uh,
hits you emotionally like that,
yeah.
I think that's good for people to know, like you're passionate about it. It hit a
Hmm.
passion point for you. And like that's the way it feels. It triggers that because it's like
Yeah.
it's amazing to see it and even to be a part of that for 2 or 3 years to kind of see his growth and to get in
Hmm.
so many areas academically and to be more confident with himself to
Yes.
know that like you say you've encouraged him. You've
Yes.
encouraged
Yes.
him. Yeah. Oh man. Oh man, that's awesome. Like with that, I mean, I'm glad you shared that because that shows that that's what these kids need. That's what we all need, but definitely,
Yeah.
yeah,
We
they
need
need
that.
that.
It's like they need that extra push, that extra
Mm-hmm.
love, that confidence in them, that motivation. Because who
Mm-hmm.
else gonna give it to them?
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather for them to be motivated to do stuff they need to instead of enabling them. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. I love it. You said love. the confidence, the motivation. Like that's
Mm,
what they need, because then eventually it's like you're saying, like you were showing him that he can do it, and then now
yeah,
he got that he can do it. So that
yes,
almost empowers him. That gives him like, you can do it, right?
yeah.
To like, I mean, it's
Mhm.
so much in that, to feel like, yes, because I think we have to have a balance, Chrissy, a balance in saying, um, like a balance of, yes, I can lean on other people for support, because we all
Mhm.
need support, and at the same time, I can do this. Like,
Yeah.
I don't need somebody for support all the time. It's going to be
Mhm.
eventually a day where I can do it, and then
Uh-huh.
obviously reaching out for support as we need it. But that's awesome. So it's like, that was a good lesson. That's a good lesson to learn in school. I mean, it's good to learn the reading lessons and the writing lesson, but that's, you taught him a powerful lesson. I got
Yes.
this.
Yes. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I got to clap on that one. That's good. That's good. Okay, I want to be sure we get to this other part, but that was critical. That was critical. I'm glad we got to that. So I kind
Mhm.
of want to keep with the energy of the loving energy, giving kids confidence, teaching them what they need. So we're gonna keep with that energy, but we're gonna switch the topic a little bit, because it was another, in preparing for our conversation today. You also said that you observe children, particularly younger children, when I say
Mhm.
younger, like I think maybe at that time we were talking about early childhood, like young children, that when they
Mhm.
play with certain toys that may not be what people would think is, a boy playing with a girl toy, or a girl playing with a boy toy, right? Where it's kind
Mhm.
of these gender type toys. Um,
Yeah.
and then the way the adults react to that. So I don't know if you could just talk more about that, and we'll spend some time talking about that before we wrap up. Can you say more about your observations and what you felt and thought about that?
I feel like parents just let kids be kids. I mean, regardless. I mean, start labeling them when they are at it, 3 or 4 year old, because you seeing a boy playing with a doll. You seeing them brushing it. Okay, they playing with a doll. They in the classroom where they're with their dang, I forgot that type of the dramatic thing.
Oh,
The dramatic. So let them be a kid. I mean, it's playing with toys is about learning, So it's helping them to learn. So let them be kids. It's you. I mean, yeah, you would see a girl playing football or basketball. I mean, it's just a toy. It's just objects there for them to play with, to help them to share, with other kids and stuff. So, I mean, I just feel like grown-ups need to start labeling them at an early age.
oh, I love that.
Yeah,
Chrissy, you said a few things in there, and I'm listening through kind of these ears of birthing the gifts, right? Like, because so one of the things you're saying is just kind of let kids be kids. And I think
yeah,
as somebody that like works with kids from like a therapy standpoint, I feel
uh-huh,
like I have seen adults, be it parents, be it teachers, be it like any adult, like
uh-huh,
like if a kid is just doing like regular kid stuff, we like put our
uh-huh,
adult labels on it. And it's
yeah,
just like, that ain't even necessarily what they're thinking about. Now, kids
yeah,
need guidance from adults. Like, I want to have a
uh-huh,
balanced conversation. Obviously, kids need guidance. They're learning life. They're learning how to do things. So clearly, they need some
uh-huh,
guidance about what it means to develop into a healthy and whole and skillful adult, right? Like, they do need guidance. While at the same time, you're like, let's not like label them. I like how you
yeah,
said that, label them in a way that's going to be unhelpful. Because when I think about
uh-huh,
birth and the gifts, like, and like what we literally know about child development is that it's actually not healthy for children to just grow into the adult that their parents have labeled them to be,
yeah,
and said, you're
uh-huh,
going, this is your identity and this is who you're going to be, without
yeah,
them kind of going through a healthy process of figuring out who God created them to be, right? It's
uh-huh,
almost like, who did God create them to be? not
Yeah.
who is the other adult creating them to be. So I can have a whole conversation about that when I talk about people birthing their gifts and really growing into the person that they were
Mhm.
created to be, and not labels that society or other people put on them. So that's a whole nother conversation. So I'm gonna put that there. But I'm gonna focus mainly on what you said, especially the young children, where you said 3 or 4. You said it's about learning.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, because when people put a label on it, and sometimes let's just say what it is. If people think that a boy is playing with a doll, they're thinking, is this
They're
gonna
gonna
make him
be,
gay?
yeah. Or
Let's just,
it's like, come on now. I
or
mean,
is this gonna make
a
him them
doll.
gay, or is this gonna make him act like a girl? Is this gonna make him want to be a
Yeah.
girl or one? And it's just like, what is no, like you say, let them be kids. This is about learning. So when
Hmm.
you said dramatic play, of course, you said this is going to tie this to the conversation about working with children and young children. If people have been in a classroom of young children, 3 and 4, and that kind of thing, pre-K, is different centers, right?
Hmm.
It's different
Yeah.
centers that teach them about like social learning,
Yeah.
emotional language,
Hmm.
sharing, using their imagination. Those centers are set up in a way to teach very important skills that
Yes.
kids under 5 need to learn to
Yeah.
help them to be prepared for kindergarten and
Hmm.
school. Like after
Yeah.
that, like K through 12. So it's
Hmm.
like if adults are being too focused on them playing with a girl toy or a boy toy, are they missing some very important learning opportunities that could help them to really birth their gift and be ready for school? Right. So you said
Right.
something key, because Chrissy, for this topic, because you had told me about that. I said, oh, I need to go do a little bit of research. So
Hmm.
so that's what I was doing this morning. But I want to read something, and it said exactly what you were just saying. It was saying, especially for kids under 5, they were just saying, don't. Is this somebody who does research? This is Michigan State University, and another person that does research exactly about playing with toys and gender specific toys and all this, a bunch of research about it. But they were saying
Hmm.
playing with toys such as dolls or kitchens can lead children to use their imagination while
Yeah.
developing their social, emotional, and language skills. Like you
Hmm.
said, you were saying about sharing. These types of toys help children learn to interact with others and lead directly to real life situations within their environment. Basically, it's teaching them.
Hmm.
PBS and all of these other places have all type of examples on what are recommendations for how to have developmentally appropriate toys, not gender, not getting caught up in the gender and all this, especially at that age,
Hmm.
because they're learning. Even with blocks and balls and toys, it says here that this is they're learning to increase their motor, language, and social skills.
Hmm.
So you're
Yeah.
saying, hey, let's focus on the learning. Let's
Yeah.
let them be kids and let's not
Hmm.
label. Yeah.
Putting labels. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
do you think could happen? What does that feel like for the kiddo? Because it seems like you definitely have a heart for the kids. What do you feel like that's like for the kids, is if then now adults are putting labels on them when they're just kind of playing and learning?
Well, how do I feel about it?
Well, no, how do you think they feel? How do you
Oh,
think the
how they
kids
they
feel if they're having a label put on it when they're just kind of playing and happen to be learning while they're playing? But yeah, how do you think that makes them feel?
I think for a younger age, I don't think they understand why their parents are labeling them. Because, like I said, they kids.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, I can't say that word. It makes me mad, because it's like I said, they kids. They need to be, you know, they're using their imagination. So, I mean, how else they gonna, learn and share and stuff? And they, it's just, ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I
I mean,
mean, I don't know.
it
I
is.
don't know. I really don't know how the kids will feel about it, because,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I don't think they will understand why their, adults are saying it to them,
Mm-hmm.
So
Like they're not be in an age where they can understand. Their brain is not as developed to
yeah.
understand. But I'm gonna go back to something you said earlier when we first started. You said kids need like more advocates. And at that point, we were talking about kids with special needs. But like sometimes when kids at a certain age, their language is not developed, they're not going to be able to probably put words to how they feel, or like you say, not even notice how they feel really. But
Uh-huh.
like if people are around them to kind of know, like, then somehow in a way that, is respectful, in a way that's actually going to be effective, really, then sometimes kids do need other adults to advocate for them and speak up
Uh-huh.
for them. Because I was actually read this other one, because what happens with kids, even if they don't remember exactly what the adult said, or even adults are like this too, what
Uh-huh.
happens, we remember how people make us feel,
Yeah.
right? And the kids may remember it, their body may remember, literally, even if they can't put words to how they feel. Like, we have to understand it about child development. Like, their bodies remember, even if they can't put words to it. They know, even at 3 or 4, when they've disappointed mommy or daddy, and they
Uh-huh.
go,
Yeah.
now, are they going to know that I feel like they feel guilty, or they feel shame or embarrassment? No, they're not going to be able to use those words, but still their
Mhm.
body and their little emotions know that I did something wrong, and maybe I was being a bad boy or a bad girl, right? So it's like that could maybe low key send them that message. And I was reading, and I copied this because I thought this was good. Is sometimes we have to ask ourselves as adults, what what are our actions? What message are our actions, or what are we sending? What message are we sending to these children with the words we say and how we react to them? And it's like, is it that deep, especially at that young? Is it that deep? So it says here, a parent is really about, their job is about communicating love for a child. You've been talking about that, loving children, not
Uh-huh.
loving another version of them, the label we put on them, because then kids can get the impression that in order for me to be loved, I have to fit this. I have to
Uh-huh.
be this label in order for
Yeah.
this adult to love me. And see, that's not the message you want to send. So it says here, it was given an example of maybe a boy playing with some lightsabers. So they went in both directions, because they were saying, because some parents understandably may have different thoughts about kids, period, playing with what they think as weapons. But if they say,
Uh-huh.
I love you, but I don't want you to play with life's lightsabers. I would prefer you to play, especially if they're saying now, play with this doll, like, or something
Uh-huh.
like this. So it can go both ways. And he was
Yeah.
saying what the child may hear is, I may say that I love you, but in reality, what I love is not you, but some idealized boy who would happily play with dolls rather than lightsabers. In other words, a boy completely unlike you, right? So basically, what he's saying in that is, regardless, when we put our labels on whatever we think a child should play with or not play with, or do or not do, we could be sending some message that I don't love this version of you.
Yeah.
I don't like this version of you. And in order
Yeah.
for me to love or like you, then do this, do that, do that. Like, we
Uh-huh.
really have to be, he really was talking about that type of thing can cause significant harm. So it's just like, get to know who your child is, and don't
Uh-huh.
impose labels on your child, especially at that age when those type of things are not at play. It may be different when they get older, after 5. It may be a different
Uh-huh.
conversation, but especially 5 and below, when it comes to certain toys and gender type toys, like you say, it's more about the learning, the imagination, the social
Yeah.
skills. So let
Uh-huh.
them be the kids that learn
Yeah.
through play. They
Yeah.
learn through play, and let
Uh-huh.
it be about that. Let's not
Yeah.
let's not make it be about something that, as adults in a society, we're trying to make it be about. This is
Yeah.
about them learning while they play.
Uh-huh. And learn they learn to clean up. Just
Yeah.
also cleaning up.
I love it. They learn to clean up. That's that's true. Don't they have little I was in a school one time. Don't they have a little songs, the little cleanup songs that they
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
Uh, you said then they learning that too. They gonna learn to clean up. I love it. I love it. So Chrissy, today we talked about a number of things. You talked about advocacy. You talked about being patient with kids. You talked about the kids may be getting bullied, so we have to be mindful of that, to advocate for them. So they need people that understand them, to understand what is it like to be in their shoes? What is it like to experience life in the way they do? So I love that. They need people cheering them on, encouraging
Mm,
them, helping
yeah.
them to learn confidence, motivation, and then not putting our labels on them. Just support
Mm-hmm.
them in growing into, you know, the child and, you know, teenager, whatever it is that they are, that they were put on earth to be, and not like putting our labels on them because they can mess things up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Chrissy, this is good. Any kind of last words that you want to kind of leave the people with, that you want to make sure they remember? You say, I don't remember nothing else. Remember this.
I feel like this gonna be a part three. Because this gonna be a
Hey, it
part
could
three.
be. It could be. It could be. Yeah.
Just from well, I just saying just just love your kids, just be patient, and you know what the other thing is they need to explore like they need, especially with kids with special needs, because it seems like some of these parents don't take their kids out. I mean, some parents do, some does, some don't. But they still need to explore so they can see what's going on in the world. Like take them out, let them have fun. Don't let them, don't just let them be in the house, all day. No,
Mm,
let them have fun because once we take them out, they need to know how to act. So I'm just saying. I'm
okay.
just saying.
So it's like give them some practice at being out and about in the world.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. I love that. And it's so much kind of wrapped into that, you know, in
Hmm.
terms of maybe why parents don't do that. But I like how you're saying, like, hey, like, you know, maybe they have to encourage themselves. Like it can be okay. Like when you do that, just like you said with the
Yeah.
young man, it's not like you didn't have him in the hallways, even though, yeah, maybe something could have happened, but you were there with him to show that
Hmm.
he, like, I got this. Right. So in
Yeah.
some ways he had to get in the hall to be able
Hmm.
to know that he has it. You were there with him. So basically
Hmm.
it's like parents can be there with them in the
Yeah.
situation to show them that they got it.
Hmm.
Wow. It's so much that comes from that. Chrissy, thank you again for joining yet another powerful conversation about how to support ourselves as we journey and birth our gifts, but certainly how to support children who are just trying to figure life out, basically. They're just trying to figure it out and want to be loved and want to be cared for and want people to have patience with them. So thank you again for joining. Much
Thank
appreciated.
you for inviting me.
Yes, absolutely. So it's been another edition of Birthing the Gifts. It's a process conversation series. Thank you again. Have a good day, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.